Hello everyone, welcome to CFI Education. And in the last three videos, we have discussed about the line items of income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. So in today's session, we are going to cover a case study, a very basic case study, where I will try to show you how the integration of these three statements happens and how they are interlinked to each other, right? So we have certain entries that we'll make today, and we'll see how the balance sheet will match, how income statement is linked to cash flow, and income statement is linked to balance sheet. So all the linking and changes that will happen. So once I do a change in, let's say, income statement, how will the cash flow and balance sheet will change, right? So let's get started. And just have put in some uh, you know some sort of a basic template for you so that we can get started with the each and every entry and see how the changes happens in all the three statements, right? So this is my first entry. So what does it say? B Corp started with the manufacturing smartphone with an investment of 2,50,000, where 1,50,000 invested through debt. So, and 1 lakh is invested through equity. So what is happening in this case is that we are starting a business and we've got an investment to start a business, or you can say a capital that you have received to start a business, where 150 were invested through debt and 1 lakh through equity, right? So what is happening in this case? In this case, we are financing a business through a debt and equity of 1,50,000 and 1 lakh. So, so the financing should happen from the cash flow from financing, because as we discuss in cash flow, all the equity and debt issuance should come here. So how much debt we have? 1,50,000. So I'll just write 1,50,000. So let me tell you, all the blue numbers are hard punch, and all the black number that you will see in this will be a combination of, or simply a formula, I would say, right? So 1,50,000 of debt issuance will come in financing activities, and 1 lakh of equity we also have. So just put it here. So we do have both the numbers. Next is company purchased a machine worth 1 lakh, okay, and furniture worth 50,000. The company also made an investment of 25,000 in ABC Corp. So as you can see, it looks like they have made an investment. So purchasing any kind of fixed asset, as I told you, is an investment to the company. So 1 lakh of furniture. So I do have investing activities. So I do have a line item purchase of machine, which is 1 lakh. But let me tell you, this is going to be a outflow because you are paying this money to get machine. It should be a negative number. Second one is 50,000 of furniture is purchased. So here we will put 50,000 as a negative number because it is an outflow. We have received a furniture and we have paid or made an outflow of 50,000. The third one is also we made an investment of 25,000 ABC Corp. So in investment in ABC Corp, again it is an outflow because we are getting shares by investing in this company, so it should be an outflow. So we have done both the two entries. The third one is during the year company generated sales of 55,000, right? So under sales, I will say 55,000. Company spent 10,000 on raw material and 2,000 on wages. So as I told you during income statement discussion that all the raw material cost and wages is a direct cost, of building a product, and we have sold a product at 55,000. So the direct cost of building a product is 10,000 plus 2,000 of wages. So 12,000 you do have as cost of goods sold. I will keep this number in minus, right? So the brackets, let me tell you, all the numbers which you will see in brackets, they are negative numbers. So 12,000, which is 10,000 of raw material and 2,000 of wages, I have put in. Now I will calculate the gross profit. So sales minus COGS will give you a gross profit of 43,000. Next entry is what? So we have made some indirect expenses, which includes your rent, salaries, power, security, sales and promotion, and other. So I'll go one by one. So I do have rent here. So I will say 1,000 negative, salaries 1,500, power 500, security 300, sales and promotion 400, and other expenses are 200. So all these expenses that we have under indirect. So let me tell you guys, as we discussed, that these expenses can also be clubbed as either marketing and sales and general and administrative, right? So as we shown you in the previous classes, in the previous recordings, that the standard line item that we use is either marketing and sales or general and administrative. We also use sometimes the word SG&A, which is selling, general and admin expenses. But here in this case, we have categorized each and every line item as a separate line item. Instead of clubbing all of these numbers in one or two line items, we have separated, we've kept it as it is, because in this session, we are just going to understand the linking between the three statements. In real life, if you see an annual report, you may not find so many of line items for any company, right? So now I will calculate the EBIT, right? So that's how I will do. So I have received a EBIT of 39,100. So what did I do? 43,000 minus all these numbers. I put a sum formula because these are already negative numbers. So they will get subtracted automatically and I will get an EBIT of 39,100. Next is company needs to pay an interest of 10% per annum or on its outstanding debt. So I have just laid out some of the numbers. Let me just write one by one. So they need to pay interest at 10%. So I will write 10%. Company received a dividend income of 2,500 on ABC. So if you remember, you made an investment of 25,000 and you got a dividend on that investment, which is 2,500 of dividend income. So you will write dividend income here, which is part of other income, right? And 10% I have just put in here. The tax rate is 25%. So you will write 25%. Dividend paid, as it says that the company decided to pay 25% of income as dividend. So you will write 25%. Then life of machinery is 10 years and furniture is 7 years. So we will proceed accordingly. So the next thing that I need is interest expense. So what is an interest expense? It is it is we have to pay 10% of interest on the outstanding debt. And where is the debt? So if you remember, we just issued this much of debt in this year. So firstly, what we will do is we will put a sum formula to check what is the investing in financing activity and what is this. So since it's blank, but still I would put a formula here. And in the balance sheet, what I'll do is the moment I have the debt issue, I can link this number from here so that all the debt that I have issued and I have received the money, it should be part of my balance sheet. Then what will I do is I will just select this debt component and multiply it by 10% interest, which is 15,000. Right. So again, it is in minus. As you can see, we are paying 10% of interest on the outstanding debt of 1,50,000. Now I will calculate the profit before tax, and I will also calculate the tax component, which is 25% on profit before tax. So I have to pay 6650 as an income tax, and then I will further put a sum formula to reduce the income tax, and I have received 19,950 of net income. So what I'll do is, as we discussed in cash flow, we carry forward this number of net income to the cash flow from operations. So this is how it will look like once we link this net income to the cash flow from operations. And in cash flow, what we do, cash increase, decrease. We have to calculate. So we have to do CFO plus CFI plus CFF. So this is my CFO, comma, this is my CFI, and this is my CFF. Oh, so I am getting this error. Let me just check. Oops. So I have to put some formula, which is this, comma, this, comma, this. Now I've got my cash increase. I will link, as I told you, all the increase, decrease, whatever the cash position that we have to link it from here. Since we don't have the old year, any previous cash balance prior to year one, we won't be able to add any previous year balance, but whatever we have generated, it is our cash balance. So I'll just link it from here, and it is 94,950. What all we are left with? So we have done an interest. Okay, this is done. This is done. Now, so basically, since we have paid a dividend of, so we had just net income. We have paid a dividend of 25% to our shareholders. So that we have calculated here, and we have reduced this number from net income to arrive at the retained earnings part. Now this number, we will link it from here, right? Because we have paid a dividend, so any kind of dividend paid should be a financing activity, as we discussed. So I'll just link it from here. And After deducting the dividend, we have received the retained earnings. So I will link this retained earnings from here. I will also link equity capital from here. I will also put a sum formula. Here also I'll put a sum formula. Now we are left with few more things to link. Machinery. So machinery, how much machinery we had, which is 1 lakh. So we have to show it as positive number. Furniture. So we had a furniture of, we purchased a furniture worth 50,000. Right. This is already done. Investment in ABC Corp. We are also left with investment in ABC. So we will link it from here, and ABC Corp investment is also in place. Depreciation on machine. So we have had a depreciation on machine which is 10 years, and what is the total machine value, which is 1 lakh. So we'll select this, divide by machine, and it should be a negative number, and depreciation of furniture will come here. So I'll just link the depreciation on machine here and depreciation on furniture here. Next is I will add the depreciation plus amortization. Happening here is that we have incorrect, we have just not put in the negative sign here. The moment I'll put the negative sign, my balance sheet will match. So finally our balance sheet is matched. So how these three statements are linked, I'll just try to show you the major areas where it is linked. There may be multiple links, but the most important ones which you should know and can visualize at any point of time is, so I do have a net income here, right? So net income is linked to cash flow from operations, right? And through this, it is linked to change in cash flow, and this number is going here in cash and cash equivalents. Second is this net income is also part of your retained earnings. So if you remember, net income minus dividend gives you retained earnings. So 75% part of this net income is linked here, right? So this net income is getting added to cash flow. Cash flow is creating your cash and cash equivalents, and through that this net income is indirectly linked to the asset side. And this net income is also linked to the liability side through a retained earnings line item. So because of that, any adjustment that you will do from sales till before net income, they will automatically be adjusted in both the side. Because let's say if you increase sales from 55 to 1 lakh, right? Your net income will increase, that will also increase your cash flow, and that will increase your asset. And that increased number will also increase your retained earnings. So let me show it to you. So if you increase sales from 55,000 to 1 lakh, both the side are still matching. The reason is because the net income is linked in both the side. With the help of cash flow, it is going to balance sheet asset side, and with the help of this schedule, it is going to the liability side, which is retained earnings. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will, if you have any questions, you can just write it in a comment section, and I'll try to answer. I'll just try to answer as much as possible. Thank you. Have a great day.